Good morning, children. Today I am going to start with the pollination. Pollination, you know very well, already you learnt in your 10th standard also. It is a transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the female is called pollination. Okay. So, pollination is a wonderful mechanism which provides food, shelter, etc. For the pollinating animals. Many plants are pollinated by a particular animal species and the flowers are modified accordingly, and thus there exists a co-evolution between plants and animals. Let us imagine if pollination fails. Do you think there will be any seed and fruit formation? If not, what happens to pollinating organism and those that depend on this pollinating organism for the food? Here lies the significance of the process of pollination. So you could understand the question asked here, children. So, and also I said what is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Okay. And it's a wonderful mechanism which provide food, shelter, etc. for the pollinating animals. Okay. Through pollination, it provides food and shelter for the pollinating animals. For many plants are pollinated by a particular animal species. Okay, and the flowers also modified according, and thus there exists a co-evolution between the plants and animals. Okay, so and there's some questions asked here. Please answer. Find the answer by yourself, children. And the pollen grains produced in the anther will germinate only when they reach the stigma of the pistil. Okay. So I said transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Okay, right. When the pollen grains started to germinate, once the pollen grain reached the stigma of the pistil, it started to germinate. Unless it reached the stigma of the pistil, it cannot germinate. That's what discussed here, children. The pollen grains produced in the anther will germinate only when they reach the stigma of the pistil. The reproductive organs, stamens and pistil of the flower are spatially separated, a mechanism which is essential for pollen grains to reach the stigma is needed. This process of transfer of pollen grains from the anther to a stigma of a flower is called pollination. Okay. Okay, pollination is a characteristic feature of spermatophyte, that is gymnosperm and angiosperm. This you note it down. The pollination is the characteristic features of spermatophyte, that is angiosperm and gymnosperm only. In bryophyte, pteridophytes, all pollination does not take place. Pollination in gymnosperm is said to be direct as the pollens are deposited directly on the exposed ovules, whereas in angiosperm it is said to be indirect as the pollens are deposited on the stigma of the pistil. Okay, when we speak separately about the pollination in gymnosperm and angiosperm, pollination in gymnosperm is direct. Why it is direct? You know very well. In gymnosperm, the ovules are not covered with ovary. So, the ovules are exposed. Since the ovules are exposed, the pollens are directly transferred into the ovules. So, this is called what? Direct pollination. But in case of angiosperm, ovules are covered with ovary, and it runs up as a slender structure called style end with a structure called stigma. So, once the pollen grains fall on the stigma, the pollen started to germinate and pass through the style and reach the ovule, and gametes are fused inside the ovary. So, here the pollination are indirect. Here the pollination are indirect in angiosperm. In majority of angiosperms, the flower opens and exposes its mature anthers and stigma for pollination. Such flowers are called chasmogamous. Okay, please bracket it, 2 mark question, and the phenomena is called chasmogamy, 2 mark question. That means in majority of angiosperms, the flowers opens and exposes its mature anther and stigma for pollination directly. நிறைய மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் ஆஞ்சியோஸ்பர்மில் ஃப்ளார்ஸ் வந்துட்டு ஓப்பன் ஆகிட்டு ஆந்தரையும் ஸ்டிக்மாவையும் எக்ஸ்போஸ் பண்ணிடும். and such kind of flowers are called chasmogamous, and the phenomena is called chasmogamy. In other plants, pollination occurs without opening and exposing their sex organs. Such flowers are called clistogamous, and the phenomena is called clistogamy. These two are two. Marcos differentiate and define chasmogamous and clistogamous, and or chasmogamy or clistogamy you will get as 2 Marcos. Okay. In some of the angiosperm, and pollination occurs without opening and exposing their sex organ. Such kind of flowers are called clistogamous, and the phenomena is called clistogamy. Based upon the flower on which the pollen of a flower reaches, the pollination is classified into 2 kinds, namely self-pollination, otherwise called as autogamy, and cross-pollination, otherwise called as allogamy. Self-pollination or autogamy, according to a majority of botanists, transfer of pollen on the stigma of the same flower is called self-pollination. This all you know very well. What is meant by self-pollination? Transfer of pollen on the stigma of the same flower is called self-pollination or autogamy. Self-pollination is possible only in those plants which bear bisexual flowers. In order to promote self-pollination, the flowers of the plant have several adaptation or mechanisms. They are, first one is clistogamy. In clistogamy, flowers never open and expose, already we have discussed, and expose the reproductive organs, and thus the pollination is carried out within the closed flower. Okay, since the flowers are not opened, and the male and female reproductive part of the flower remain inside the flower itself. Okay, and thus the pollination is carried out within the closed flower itself. Since both the male and female sex organs are present within the flower itself, but the flowers will not open, so it is in closed condition. So what happen inside the closed flower, that pollination will be taken place, and this process is called, this structure is called what? Clistogamy. Example for clistogamy plants, Camelina, Viola, Oxalis are some examples for clistogamous flowers. In Camelina and Bengalensis, 2 types of flowers are produced, aerial and underground flowers. Aerial flowers are brightly colored, chasmogamous and insect pollinated, and the underground flowers are borne on the subterranean branches of the rhizome that are dull, clistogamous and self-pollinated and are not dependent on pollinators for pollination. Okay, so what here it is discussed here, in Camelina and Bengalensis, 2 types of flowers are present. One is chasmogamous flower, another one is clistogamous flower. Chasmogamous flower is produced in the aerial parts of the plant, that is aerial flowers, which are brightly colored, and the pollination has taken place by an agent called insect. But in underground flowers, that is in subterranean branches, the clistogamous flowers, which are dull in color and are not dependent on any pollinators, within the flower itself pollination has taken place, that is self-pollination. This is what about clistogamy. Next one is homogamy. When the stamens and stigma of a flower mature at the same time, it is said to be homogamy. Please note it, 2 Marcos in it is, when the stamen and stigma of a flower mature at the same time, and the flower is said to be homogamy. It favors self-pollination. Self-pollination to occur, example Mirabilis jalapa and Catharanthus roseus. Okay, actually for self-pollination, the flower should be a homogamy, then only there should be a self-pollination will be taken place. Okay, because self-pollination, you know very well, transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of the same flower, that is called what? Self-pollination, right? So in that case, both what it is, male and female gamete mature simultaneously, then only there should be a pollination and fertilization will be taken place. So such kind of flowers are called homogamy, example Mirabilis jalapa and Catharanthus roseus. Next one is incomplete dichogamy. In dichogamous flowers, the stamen and stigma of a flower mature at a different time. Sometimes the time of maturation of this essential organ overlaps so that it becomes favorable for self-pollination. So what is meant by incomplete dichogamy? That in dichogamy, actually dichogamy flowers, both the male and the female sex organs mature at a different times, but in some time maturation of the essential organ overlap, that means both are mature simultaneously. So in that case there should be a there is a favorable for self pollination, right? So far we have discussed about self pollination. Next we are going to discuss about cross pollination. It refers to the transfer of pollen grain on the stigma of the another flower, and the cross pollination of the is of two types. One is geitonogamy. What is mean by geitonogamy? When the pollen deposits on the another flower of the same individual plant, it is said to be a geitonogamy. It usually occurs in plants which serves a monoecious condition. It is functionally cross pollination, but is generally similar to autogamy because the pollen comes from same plant. Okay, actually what is geitonogamy? Flowers are different but plant is same, that is called what? Geitonogamy. In self pollination, anther, stigma both belongs to same flower, that is called self pollination. But in geitonogamy, anther from one flower, stigma from another flower, and the transfer of pollen grains from anther of one flower to the stigma of the another flower of the same plant. It is called what? Geitonogamy. It occurs usually occur in plants which show monoecious condition. It is functionally cross pollination, actually functionally cross pollination, but it is generally similar to autogamy only because the pollen comes from the same plant only. And next one is xenogamy. When the pollen deposit on another flower of a different plant of the same species, it is called as xenogamy or contrivances of cross pollination. So what is xenogamy? When the pollen deposit on the another flower of a different plant but same species, it is called xenogamy. You could understand about it. It is also called xenogamy. And next we are going to see about contrivances of cross pollination. The flowers have several mechanisms that promote cross pollination, which are also called contrivances of cross pollination or outbreeding devices. It includes the following. Actually, for cross pollination, the flowers have several mechanisms that promote a cross pollination, which are also called as contrivances of cross pollination or outbreeding devices. It includes the following. Dichlyny or unisexuality. When the flowers are unisexual, only cross pollination is possible. There are two types. One is monoecious, another one is dioecious. Male, female flowers on the same plant. It is called what? Monoecious. Example, coconut, bitter gourd. In plant like castor, maize, autogamy is prevented but geitonogamy takes place. And dioecious, male and female flowers on different plants. Example, borassus, caria and poenix. Here both autogamy and geitonogamy are prevented. You know very well what is mean by autogamy, what is mean by geitonogamy. In case if you have any doubt, please refer the previous topic. And monocliny and bisexual. Here first one, dichlyny, unisexuality. Here monocliny or bisexuality. Flowers are bisexual and the special adaptation of the flowers prevents self-pollination. Dichogamy. In bisexual flowers, anthers and stigmas mature at different times, thus checking self-pollination. It is of two types. Okay. In bisexual flowers, anthers and stigma mature at different times. This is thus checking self-pollination. It is of two types. One is protandry, another one is protogyny. In protandry, the stamen mature earlier than the stigma of the flowers. Example, Helianthus clerodendrum. And protogyny, the stigmas mature earlier than the stamen of the flower. So, example, Scrophularia nodosa and Aristolochia bracteata. So, these are the example for protogyny. Both protandry and protogyny are example for dichogamy. Please refer the diagrams and pictures given here, children. And hercogamy. In bisexual flowers, the essential organs, the stamens and stigmas are arranged in such a way that self-pollination becomes impossible. Since the sex organs are arranged in such a way that self-pollination is avoided in that condition. For example, in Gloriosa superba, the style is reflected away from the stamens, and in Hibiscus, the stigmas project far above the stamens. Then next one is heterostyle. Some plants produce 2 or 3 different forms of flowers that are different in their length of stamen and style. Pollination will take place only between organs of the same length. Okay. So, some plants produce 2 or 3 different forms of flower that are different in their length of stamens and styles. Pollination will take place only between the organs of the same length only. Next one is distyle. The plant produces 2 forms of flowers. One is pin or long style, long stigmatic papillae, short stamen and small pollen grains. Thrum-eyed or short style, small stigmatic papillae, long stamen and large pollen grains. Example, primula. So, the stigma of the thrum-eyed flowers and the anther of the pin lie in same level to bring out the pollination. Similarly, the anther of thrum-eyed and the stigma of pin ones is found in the same height. This helps in the effective pollination. That means what? The flowers in the same, the organs in the same height will have the pollination. That's what they are trying to say here. Next, tristyle. The plant produces 3 kinds of flowers with respect to the length of the style and the stamens. Okay. Actually, here in previous thing we have discussed that plant produce 2 different kinds of flowers. Here that is called distyle. Here tristyle, the plant produce 3 kinds of flowers with respect to the length of the style and stamen. Here the pollen from flowers of one type can pollinate only the other 2 types but not their own type. Example, lythrum, and this is called tristyle. That is pollen from flowers of one type can pollinate only the other 2 type but it cannot pollinate by itself. This is called what? Tristyle. Next, 4th one is self-sterility or self-incompatibility. In some plants, when the pollen grains of a flower reaches the stigma of the same, it is unable to germinate to prevent it to germinate on its own stigma. Example, Abutilon passiflora. It is a genetic mechanism. In some plants, when the pollen grains of a flower reaches the stigma of the same, it is unable to germinate or prevented to germinate on its own stigma itself. When the pollen fall on the stigma of its own flower, what happens? Either it cannot germinate by itself or it can be prevented to germinate on its own stigma. And this is called self-sterility or self-incompatibility. Example, Abutilon, then passiflora. It is a genetic mechanism. And about agents of pollination, anemophily, hydrophily is given here. It's considered as a biotic agent, and biotic agent zoophily. You know very well what is anemophily, what is hydrophily. Anemophily, the pollination is taken place by or favored by a wind is called anemophily, and pollination occur by the water is called hydrophily. Pollination by animals are called zoophily. its example and the flowers nature is given, children. Please this paragraph and this topic please go through by yourself, children. I'll start with the post fertilization changes in my next class, okay, and I'll catch you in my next class. Bye.